I've never seen anything like what we have with you guys' team. It's been the dopest thing, man, seeing how both teams support each other and everybody just give you sort of that high school, college feel, right?
Game recognized game. Yeah. That's what I say. And if you're a true hooper, it just is what it is. I think we both are on the same thing. We on that same time. Like, we putting in that work, that championship work, trying to get that. It don't even feel like work. It just feel like family. What's up, CP?
Sky, what's happening?
Not much.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We are here at the Thunderbirds branch, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Scottsdale. You grew up in the Boys and Girls Club.
I did.
You know what I mean? I did also. Tell me what it means to you.
It means a lot. Their commitment to community, a safe haven in our community to go to. You knew you was taken care of. Your parents didn't have to worry about you if you was at the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
Sports, like I could try different things.
I think it nurtures competitiveness, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, as soon as we came in here today, I was looking for a bumper pool table.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
That is like, that's
pool.
universal.
Yeah, ping pong, pool, all those different things you play at a Boys and Girls Club and connect for, whatever it is.
And not only that, like, we played, but, like, I would get help with my homework.
Yeah. And for you, you've been in the spotlight a long time, right? You was Indiana Miss Basketball, Gatorade National Player of the Year. What drove you at such a young age to be so great?
I think it was my passion. I just like found a passion for something because basketball wasn't the first thing that I tried. It was actually like one of the last sports that I got into.
What you played?
My mom's like 5'2". She was like gymnastics, tumbling, cheerleading. Like that was her background. I literally like grew out of those sports. And I was like, okay, I want to try something else. And I tried
soccer. Did your mom hoop?
See, my pops hooped, but my mom didn't. And she just was introducing me to things to stay away from negative opportunity, you know, that we had in our city.
Right.
She wanted to keep me busy. That's really how I got into organized sports, just trying to stay busy. And basketball was just something that kind of stuck with me. And once it caught on to where I was like, all right, now I'm dragging them to the gym.
Right.
I'm dragging my parents and not the other way around. It was like, oh, okay, this could be something special.
Did you always know? Like, you knew you was going to go to Notre Dame?
No, I didn't know I was going to go to Notre Dame. I wanted to when I was younger because that was the closest thing to me. That was the closest that I got to see, like, women that looked like me playing. Notre Dame won the championship in 2001. And I was there when the parade came back. Like, I was a diehard fan, but when I got into recruiting, because you got to think, I was the first one in my immediate family to graduate from college. And so I really was just looking at Notre Dame as using basketball
like a stepping stone.
as a stepping
I'm just go through there for a minute.
Yeah, I was just going to step through. You know,
Right.
I was using that as an opportunity. And so when the opportunity came, like, okay, I'm good enough to hoop here, you know, it was different. Then I wanted to explore my options.
You took some visits?
Yeah, I did. I took some visits. I applied to Stanford.
That's far.
And, like, realistically, my parents wasn't about to be able to come out there like that to California at the time. So I stayed close. And, you know, at the time, I was the only ESPN Top 100 going. I was the only Notre Dame player in the McDonald's All-American game. I was the only Notre Dame player in the WBCA. So everybody was like, why are you doing this? And they lost in the first round before I got there, at home.
I went to school at Wake Forest, which was in my hometown, and it was nice that my mom could come wash my clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
When you needed a break.
Exactly. I could go home and get a meal in my family and that support system. So I think about your mom when you were just talking about her a second ago, and your mom had a rule or something, right? That you couldn't use the word can't.
She did. And you know what? My mom got pregnant with me when she was 19. I literally feel like I grew up with my mom, you know? And she didn't really have a skill set as far as the court stuff, but my mindset came from her, if that made sense. Like, she always would tell me the power of my words.
Speaking into existence.
Speaking into existence, manifest it, you know? And so I think just that was her lesson at an early age was, you know, don't put yourself in this box. Don't put a ceiling to yourself. And that's what I think now, of course, that I'm a mom. You start to understand all the lessons that your parents are, you know, are putting together. But yeah, I think that was just something for her, just preparing my mindset. Like, you can do anything.
Who was your favorite WNBA player when you was little?
See, that's tough just to pick one because, like you said, so many was just like influential. But the ones that I remember, Swoops,
Yeah.
Like, Swoops was a killer, and people don't realize when Swoops came back from, like, having her baby, like, she won Defensive Player of the Year. Like, they won the championship, and then a lot of people don't understand that 4 in a row hasn't been done. Nobody professionally in sports, no matter what sports you're in. Nobody went 4 in a row of the best. And what people don't realize is back then, like, that wasn't some of their first years playing. Does that make sense? Because the W was kind of created
they
in
had
the
been
middle
playing.
of. So Coop, we kind of missed out on a few years of people's primes, like really hooping. But obviously we stand on their shoulders, and so it's all respect. Just without them, we wouldn't even be able to have a league like Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson. You know, and then obviously you got Diana Taurasi that come along after that, and Sue Bird, and you know, Tamika Catchings for me.
If you didn't play in the WNBA, what would you have done? What was your backup plan?
I was pre-med my first year at Notre Dame. Yeah, I was pre-med. I went to a medical magnet high school. So like my senior year, I shadowed an orthopedic surgeon. And so I was seeing like total knee replacement surgeries and
you
like
was watching this?
ACLs. Yeah, I was in there. You know, they would be taking out the knee. Look at this bone. You know,
I'm cool off that.
it was. Sometimes, you know, I had to sit down and like gather myself because I was really in there. You know, I knew I wanted to be close to sports. So really, it was gonna be like sports medicine or something in business. I majored in business management.
Crazy you said that. I was gonna ask you because in 2015, you had an unfortunate injury. And in what we do, I mean, me and my thumb now, I done had 4 hand surgeries or whatnot. How have injuries changed you and changed the way that you train?
Yeah, I think you learn a lot about yourself when you get hurt. I tore my ACL, both meniscus, my MCL.
When you hurt your knee, all that happened at the same time?
When I hurt my knee in 2015, it was the 4th quarter. It was like 30 seconds left in the game, and literally non-contact, boom, ACL. And it was my best year, you know, up to that point. Because I took a lot of flack in Tulsa my rookie year, going there and not really performing up to, you know, everybody else's accordances, you know. So coming back the second year, I made first team. And then that was the 3rd year where our team was like 9-1 or 10-1. And we was ripping through the league.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's when things happen. And it humbled me, I think, my mindset. And then the mindset too, like, we don't get paid, you know, millions and millions of dollars. And so I always think coming into the WNBA, you have to have that mindset of like what your backup plan is, or simultaneously doing
things at the same
time, business-wise, starting new businesses. It's a lot of entrepreneurs in this league.
I respect the life out of that, too, because that's for real. When you talk about for love of the game, what you ladies do as far as, like you said, managing, hooping, running your business, being a mother. I think about for you, when you came out, you signed with Jay-Z and Roc Nation.
When I talked to Jay before I signed with Roc Nation, you know, he was just telling me, it's like, I would meet with other agents, and they would be like, well, and I would ask them about marketing opportunities, and, well, usually a basketball player doesn't get that. Like, I was just put in this box. So, like, okay, so I need somebody with some, you know, forward thinking. I need somebody that brings that fresh perspective of highlighting my versatility.
Right.
And that I'm not just a hooper, it's just a part of me.
Don't tell me what everybody else
Don't tell me what everybody else doing, because that's great, but I'm not a smoothie. Like, I'm not trying to blend in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to stick out. And then when I came on, KD, Geno Smith, and then it kind of blew up from there. But it was avant-garde, like, signing with them. It was like, what? What are they doing? That's an entertainment agency. But I like that because then you see me in music, fashion. A
little bit of everything.
Going a little bit of everything, because that's what I am. You know, I have other passions outside of it.
A lot of people watching you, right? You got the Clorox commercial with your family and everything like that. How was that? Do you enjoy that?
It was so cool because, you know, at first I was gonna be with somebody else's family. Like, I was gonna be with somebody else. And I was like, no, I wanna shoot with my baby. Like, I want them to be a part of it. So when they came, we were in the gym, and we did like a little setting in the gym. And then we went to the house and we did like a little setting. And it was cool because he was on set with me, so he just with mom and dad. He didn't feel like, it didn't feel like I was at work.
Right.
And just, you know, shout out to Clorox too for wanting to like capture me wearing like that other hat. And so I think it's dope, like when big brands like that
It's a super dope commercial.
showcase it all. So, you know, I was joking with Monty the other day. He was talking about the commercial. I like your commercial. I said, no, that's y'all with the commercials.
I'm gonna tell you this, you better get used to 7 getting used to them too.
Yo, that's what everybody's saying. They always say now, I seen 7's commercial, and now every time he see it, he grab his little ball, go to his little tight rim, you know, be trying to dunk. So, you know, he on his little commercial, but I thought that was a dope partnership.
Yeah, your son's 7, right? He's 3?
He's 3,
He's
yeah.
3. You've been very outspoken about postpartum, right? And the demands that it takes to be, which I cannot imagine, going through pregnancy, hooping, training, everything that goes into it. But the season after he was born, you didn't play.
Yeah.
Right? Can you talk about that type of stress and what that's like?
So I probably played with him, I was 14 weeks when I got done with the season. So I played with him all the way through my first trimester. And if you don't know, like
that?
you get,
I don't know.
You just get tired. It's like a lot of fatigue, you know, and this was me kind of hiding it from my teammates. Because
so who knew?
Nobody, my husband knew, and then my mom knew, and my agent knew.
You said you played until you was 14
I played until I was
weeks.
14 weeks.
And
that
what
was the
point
playoffs.
of the season was that?
That was playoffs. So like honestly, we lost to Phoenix. After I had him, you know, I just felt guilty. I felt guilty going back so quick. 9 weeks after I had him, I was in practice. Like physically, I felt fine, but I was in this fog that I just didn't understand what was going on. It was hard for me to like explain my emotions. And when you go through postpartum depression, you kind of get this feeling like you're the only one going through this, and you don't really ask for help, and it just really took a lot from my support system, from my husband, just talking to people, professionals, just to get back in that feeling of where I felt like myself again.
Right. I see him at the gym, all the time, and at the games and stuff. Does he understand? Does he know? Something is going on in there. Even if he don't know right now, I think it's just setting him up to get that essence of greatness, to see mom commit to something, what mom's passion is. Like, some of those intangibles, I think, will rub off on him, hopefully. Our kids' advantage isn't that they're our kids.
Yeah.
Just because they have our last name does not give them an advantage. What gives them an advantage is being able to come and see us day in and day out, right? If you can bring them to the gym and see you work, and my son can come in there and watch Devin Booker put that work in. So, like, when I see your son 7 at the gym, like, I'm like, that is great.
That just got like that when I got to Phoenix, to be honest, because, like, that's another reason why I stepped away from the team in Dallas, because it just wasn't set up for me. Like, before this past CBA, we didn't have any mention of motherhood, mom's benefits, like no mention of it. In a league full of 150 women, we didn't even have it in our CBA. And so it was no place for me to pump. Like, I'm pumping in the locker room with all my teammates watching. Like, I didn't have those resources. So that was refreshing. Another part of coming here was Sandy Brondello, who was our coach at the time.
Sandy,
She had kids. Our assistant had kids, Diana had kids, Bria, like, it was my teammates. I could bring my son on the bus if I needed to, because they know, they get it,
Yeah,
they get it, and they understood. And so I appreciate that environment, when I came here, because, certain people get it, certain people just don't get it.
Right.
But it's so important, I think, to have your kids, especially with how much time, we have to sacrifice. It's the more time you can have them in your environment, it don't even feel like work.
Yeah, so I got a question for you, too, and then actually it's probably like mentioning Sue. Like, for me, I was such a fan of the NBA as a kid, right? I grew up watching all these guys. I mean, I got my hair braided when I was in high school one time, because everything AI did, I wanted to do. I had braids for a day, but my pop showed up at my high school game, and Pop seen me with the braids during the women's game, right? Before our game,
Lord.
And he was like, "You're not gonna step on that court with them braids."
You took him out before the game?
I had to go.
What?
Same play. I had to go in the bathroom, had one of my homegirls help me, played with the wavy hair and whatnot. But AI was that instrumental in me as a kid, the culture, hooping and everything. So when I got to the league and then played against him.
Yeah.
Right? So who for you was like, dang, I'm out here playing against him
Catch.
now?
Tamika
Catchings.
Because I grew up in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
So Indiana Fever, like, those games was like
Shout
2
out
hours.
to Catch. I love
Shout out to
Catch.
everybody love Catch. What's
Her
not
pops,
to love?
Harvey Catch.
Like, everybody loved Catch. And just because, like, she just worked so hard.
She a dog.
And then she brought a championship back. So I just always respected her process.
You remember the first time you played against her? Are you going up to her like, hey, can you sign this?
No,
for me?
I'm just like, what's up, Catch? But you know what? The thing about Catch, she was
What was
one of
her
the ones in the
energy?
league. Always did the right thing. Welcome to the league, welcome to the league. So she kind of, addressed me like that. And the same with Diana, too, when I first got in the league. And when you got players like that just get it, because you got a lot of hype. The young ones already nervous.
Yeah.
And so when you have vets like Catch and D, Cappy, they was always real cool
That's
to me in the
dope.
league.
That's super
But those was the ones I was like, dang, I got to guard Cappy?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Let's talk about legacy real quick, right? You play on the Mercury with the WNBA's all-time leading scorer in Diana Taurasi, DT, who we both know who is a firecracker, and she is the best. What's something that you've taken away from DT?
She's the first one in the gym. She the last one to leave. So if she tell you, you need to work harder, you gotta eat that because she put in the work.
Harder,
you ain't gonna tell nobody play defense and you not playing defense. It's almost like that lead by example. That's the culture, that's like the expectation. And so it's really the bar that she set here in Phoenix, these past 17 years. She ain't gonna hold your hand. Like, she told me when I first got here, she's like, we ain't giving you no swag. So you gotta get your own swag. And you like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
But that's DT
that's
all day
her.
long.
She's challenging you.
She's
challenging you. And iron sharpens iron.
Book has been like that with me since day one.
Them two are a lot alike to me, too. And like game, respect, game. If you're not no hater.
Right.
If you can't hide your face, but game, respect, game, like, great. Like, Diana was in my meeting. And BG, they hit me up.
Yep.
Like, yo, we want to play with you. Can you come, And so that's another part of it, too. When you got stars that are selfless, like the stars that I've been able to play with here, they want you to come and play and be a part of it. Like, they want, come on.
You got a chance to win a gold medal in Tokyo, right? Would you do it again? How was that?
You know what? I started my aspirations of watching, like, the Olympics, 96.
96.
I want to be in the Olympics, 96. That was the first time I saw women that looked like me on TV playing in that big of a platform. Like, you just didn't see that.
Right.
And so I wanted to play in the Olympics from then on. That was always a goal. And so I feel like I was with USAB because, you get into it's like a farm system. You get into at 14 years old, 15. So I played 16s, 17, 18, 19, 21s. I'm in the system for a long time. And I'm going to camps, and then I tear my ACL when I was having good camps. And so I missed that Olympics in 16. And so I went to every camp. And when it happened, I got the call, it was just like, wow, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And then with this unique, like, Olympic experience, we had to quarantine.
Right.
We was so it really was you going from the court back. You going from there back.
It's a different experience.
It was a different experience, but I had to humble myself because, you look around and it's only 12 people here from our country playing this sport.
Yeah.
The hardest part was just being without my baby, being without my family. I just felt like that was just unnatural, just not being around there. So it challenged me. Obviously, winning that gold medal, that's just something that nobody will be able to take from me. And then it lit a fire underneath me because it's like, okay, get better then.
Yeah.
So now I gotta make every shot, huh? But I would definitely want to do the Olympics again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a totally different experience when you get to go and you're not just quarantined for 2 weeks. You know
And
what I
that's what they always saying.
So 2008 was wild, because that was in China, Beijing, was super dope. 2012, my family couldn't come because my wife was pregnant.
Right.
But my brother and my parents came. But me and Russell Westbrook, that's when me and Russ got real close. So me and Russ was going to all the different events.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to do. Like, if I had to pick The events out like track and field.
Yep.
Track, always be jumping. And then swimming.
Yep.
Like, I want to go to swimming.
So I was there to see Phelps win, like his
That's crazy.
goals and all that. Let's talk about social media, right? You got a segment that's called Body and Mind with Skylar. How important is social media to you, and why is that segment so important?
You know, it's like a necessary evil, social media. You know, really, how I started with social media was back in college. Navigating those times of and being introduced to social media, and then like the expectations of having to keep it up,
right.
You know, because it's like a necessary evil now. But doing those little mind and body conversations, that was with Facebook Audio. And we talked about postpartum depression. Like, we had a lot of topics that we covered that I felt like are sensitive subjects. I think they're also important topics to cover and talk about, and to curate these spaces for people to kind of pass the mic and let them tell their stories. Because a lot of times, you know, when you're, like I said, you're going through things, you think you're the only one. And I think just having a space where it's a no judgment zone. And so I thought that was really dope, and it's really important, like I said, to not try to speak for others, but curate spaces where people can speak for themselves.
I like that. And now, not saying you close to being done. I'll never say what you're gonna do when you get done or whatnot, but with the broadcasting, how do you like that? Do you enjoy it? Is it hard?
It's cool, but you know what? My biggest thing is like, not everybody translate. And you just think sometimes because you know the game, but whoop whoop jumping in, but production, like in TV and, you know, just hearing feedback, somebody talking to you while you're trying to talk, and, you know, playing, trying to break down the game without being too stats heavy, you know. So I think I'm finding my own groove in it. And you know y'all favorite quote, like, reps are moved out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the more that I do it, the more experience I get. Because I'm working with so many vets, you know, that's just the best teacher. So I talk a lot to Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
We have a lot of conversations,
Eddie.
and like after the game, you know, or I'll shoot him a message and say, hey, I felt like this, or.
You know, sometimes they'll have a clip from after our game where you were talking about a play that I made during the game, right? And so I listen to it and I'll be like, dang, Sky, she right. That's what I was seeing on the ball screen when I cross-grain. Eddie's really good at that too, but you know, I respect that. I respect that because when people talk about the game and actually, remember, I told you like Hubie Brown.
Yeah.
I got the utmost respect for Hubie Brown because I hate when I'm watching a game, a replay of one of my games, and I make a pass and the
try to speak for you, like, he was thinking this.
I know he was thinking this because the guy was cutting there, and I'm like, you exactly wrong.
That ain't
is
what I was
not
thinking.
what I was thinking.
Sometimes I mute him even sometimes. I'm like, oh, I gotta mute him. But I don't want to be the one that get muted, so I think it just made me pay attention more because, like, I watch more broadcasts now, and I think I look at the game of basketball different. You know, I know the players, you know, and I think I just bring a fresh perspective because I'm still currently hooping. You know, I'm adding stuff to my game. I'm writing sets down, you know, and so I think it's forcing me to kind of be more cerebral.
Before I let you go, you got to end on the all net.
Oh, okay, we got to do
all net. Yeah, you got to.
Let me get my little southpaw form, you know what I'm saying? There we go, y'all.
One take.
One take.
One take.
CP, thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you thinking about my thumb, too.